Now let's talk about other tools that we have up here in the mesh menu. We've seen some in the previous lesson. We've seen combine, we've seen separate. Let's look at fill hole. Definitely, if you have, let's say we have a box and we decide to delete one face of our box. I'm just going to hold Control Delete to delete that face of our box. And here we have a hole. Definitely, this is a hole. All right. So in order for us to cover this hole or to cap it, you can use the option of filling hole, that fill hole. So we just need to select all the edges that makes up the hole and go to mesh and hit fill hole. Then that's done. All right. So that's how to use the fill hole. If you are not in that component mode and we hit fill hole, you could still repeat the same thing for us there. All right. So Maya basically detects the hole we have on an object and fills the hole. So we can also try this with other holes. Let's make separate holes in this. I want to make several connection. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to also do that. I'm going to connect multiple tools there. All right. So now I can comfortably add or make some holes in our mesh. I'll delete those holes off, and we have about 3 holes in there. If I click on this and go to mesh and hit fill hole, Maya closes up those holes we have on our object. Now let's make another box in our viewport. I'm not sure if we've seen edge loops before. So basically, if we have our box and we are on edge mode or edge component mode, there's a tool here called insert edge loop. Okay, just need to click on an edge and drag, as the help or tip line says. Click on an edge and drag. You'll be inserting a complete loop. All right, you click on an edge and drag. We can also do it on any side of our object as we want. So that basically makes an edge loop for us. Now there are some things on the mesh that we've not seen, which is reduce, remesh, retopologize, we've seen smooth. We look at triangulate and quadrangulate and say mirror. Now let's make a simple plane in our viewport before we jump down to how it works. I'm going to make a simple plane here. Move the one up, and let's have a subdivision on height on the width of let's say 3. That's fine. Now when we say reduce, okay, let's say we have a lot of divisions here. Okay, we have a lot of subdivisions. Let's crank some subdivisions we have on this. Let's turn that to 3. But let's select these 2 and hit about 100 or 50. That is too much. Have 50 subdivisions on height and width on this. We'll click on this and go to mesh and hit reduce. Okay, when we want to help us reduce the polygon count of our mesh, in essence it deletes some edges and vertices on our object. We could modify the percentage at which Maya does this. All right, which is reduce percent here. Click on this. Basically takes away more edges as we increase that value. Okay, of course 100% might mean a lot for us. Maya will take away almost everything, leaving just 3 planes, 3 edges that makes up a plane, a triangle. Right, so we basically control how many edges by reducing or increasing the percentage of reduction with that method here. Right, or we could change that from either percentage to vertex count. Then we'll tell Maya exactly the number of vertices we want to have on our object. In this case, we have a vertex count of 0. We could increase that, and Maya keep adding edges and vertices across for us. We could also use triangles, number of triangles we want to add, and to keep doing that. So basically, reduce, we drop down the number of polygon count, and then says the number of faces you have on your viewport by removing or deleting edges and vertices. Let's make another plane now viewport. Let's see the next tool there. I'm going to increase that guy to 3. Now we have remesh. All right, as it is now, we have quads. In essence, we have faces that have 4 sides. This space has 4 sides: 1, 2, 3, 4. Likewise, all these other 2. All right. If I hit this and click on Remesh, to basically subdivide this in a way that it might even introduce triangles on our object. When modeling for production, we want to avoid triangles as much as possible. We want to make use of quads, faces that have 4 sides. So now we have triangles on our object. Okay, smoothing them, we could add some collapse threshold and max edge length. Now that we have triangles on our object, we could see how other tools work very well. Let's say, for instance, we have Retopologize. This was introduced recently in Maya, maybe dated back in 2019 or 2020, going upwards. So Retopologize basically remove, or to try as much as possible to maintain the shape of the object while removing triangles, replacing them with quads. Right now, if I hit on Retopologize, you see that all my triangles are gone, and what I have there is quads. This works with some values, okay, of which if you hit the settings for Retopologize, you'll see these other settings here that determines how the retopology works on the object. All right, and that's the tip here. To try its best to maintain the shape of the object while introducing or reducing triangles, replacing them with quads or faces that has 4 sides. In this case, I have a target face count of 1000. That is why when I hit apply in that face, I have all of this. Okay, I can basically reduce that target face from 1000. So let's say I have 10. Increase that, I have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and so on. So a tolerance value of 10% is, it's okay. So Maya tends to look for quads without tolerance, for triangles without tolerance, turning them to quads. Now we might wonder how or where can this be helpful. Let's say we have a model that I'm going to delete this and unhide one of our models here. So we have a model that basically has a lot of triangles around them. Okay, this is a model that has triangles. Maybe downloaded mesh from internet or so. But with this type of stuff, rigging becomes difficult, especially when you have to do with skinning, because quads they deform better, and when smoothing is applied to them, they give a good result, satisfactory result than triangles. So we tend to convert everything we do, every mesh we have, into triangles, into quads rather, instead of triangles. Let's say in this case we have this object that have triangles all over. This is one way or one situation where retopologizing can work. Right now, we could basically click on this and hit apply, but remember, has a target face of 10. So this will basically, all the faces here we amount to 10, which might not give us the shape of what we want. If I hit on apply and let Maya do his work, Maya will start processing this and might not like the result because we have this tolerance of 10 of count of 10 here. So let me, and now here we are back. As we could see in our viewport, this is the face we have. Basically, it didn't do a good job for us, as we'll see that conclusively. So let's hit undo, Ctrl Z to get back our mesh. But if we increase the face count, let's reset this first. If we increase it to like let's say 3000 faces, all right, with 3000 faces, Maya will still try to maintain the polygon count. Of course, we could select all the faces we have on our object and go down to our modeling toolkit. You will see that we have 2718 faces selected. So with 3000, Maya could do something, or could tell Maya to use about 3500 faces to retopologize this object. All right, so I'm going to hit apply. I'll pause the video and come back. Now we're back here. You can see that because we set this to 3500 face count, see, to some extent Maya did try its best to maintain the size and shape of the object we have before, while replacing every triangle we have here to quads. So that is the function of retopologize. It will come in handy some places where you need them.